Hey peeps. Okay, so now, and I forgot to tell you guys, Daisy is right there. And she sends her love. Actually, she's kind of passed out, but I'm sure she cares. Alright, so the first thing I wanted to talk about was something that I read in Reader's Digest, and it was Daniel Radcliffe talking about. He basically said you can only be so happy as the person you're in love with. That's what Daniel Radcliffe, who was Harry Potter, if you don't know who he was. What do we think? Do we agree with that? Because in my opinion, I think that in some instances, sometimes Angie will wake up and she'll be in a really rotten mood, and I can choose to match her, or I can choose to just kind of do my own thing and let her kind of follow if she wants to or not. So I kind of feel like you do have a choice. Even if, I mean, there's also the other side of the fact that some people are emotional vampires and they just will drain the life out of you if you let them. But then, do you really have a choice, or is it an issue of you allowing them, or is it where you can't stop it? I guess that's my real question. Like, can you help it if somebody's being absolutely miserable around you? Like, do you have to be miserable with them, or can you maybe even help them by not being miserable? See, I have a hard time, and this is where some of our fights come from, where I have a hard time, like, not freaking out when she starts being in a bad mood. And I'm sure vice versa, sometimes she has a hard time being okay when I'm freaking out, because, like, you're like, holy crap, the person that I love is completely bugging. What's going on? Why are we concerned? What's going on? And because the mentality of family is so strong within us, I think sometimes that is also something that works against us. Like, oh, I don't want to be so happy around them. Excuse me, I thought I was going to have to sneeze. Since my wisdom tooth extraction, every time I sneeze, it's very painful. Anyway, so where do you guys fall? Like, how do you feel about it? If you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, or your mom, or your sister, or your brother, or your dad, like, if they're in a rotten mood, does that rub off on you? And do you feel like you can't help but be in a bad mood around them? Or, I mean, how many times have I been in a complete bad mood and Daisy is. Excuse me. I'm sorry. And Daisy is completely fine. Like, if I started flipping out right now, she might run and go lay under the bed, but she's not gonna decide to be in a bad mood with me. How does that work? How do you guys feel about that? Incoming. Because I kind of feel like you still have a choice. And it's, are you strong enough to withstand the urge to freak out with the person that you love? Are you just not resisting the urge? Are you overlooking an opportunity to be there for them? I kind of feel like that's more of like what it is. But even so, I have a really hard time not falling into a bad mood when Ange does. And I think probably the opposite is for her. Like, she has a hard time, like when I was in a bad mood because my body was wanting more of the pain relievers, like, I'm sure she had a hard time being in a good mood around me. In fact, I know she did. So maybe it's easier said than done, I guess. Um, Another quote was by Stephen R. Covey. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. And I definitely can understand that because, like, we can only know life from our perspective, from our vantage point. And from my vantage point, if you're saying something that I either agree with or disagree with or something in between, I want to reply. I want to put my 2 cents in. And I think it's also important to know that if you're not really listening to the person that you're interacting with, that's just freaking rude. And I do it all the time. I try not to. But I'm guilty of it. I definitely do that. And it's every time I'm like, oh, I'm so rude. I like, and a lot of times I'll acknowledge it, like, oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off. What were you saying? A lot of times in the shop, when I'm working at the oil change place where I work, it's a lot slower of an atmosphere when you're talking to the guys there. When we're busy doing actual oil changes, we're fast. Boom, 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 boom. It's got to be done fast. It's got to be done now. There's got to be a show. It's got to be perfect. All that. But when it's just like when there's downtime and you're just talking to your coworker, it's a slower pace. It's like, and I find it easier to listen and to not pug. But I just want to know what you guys thought about that. And I'm looking to see if there's anything else that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I think it's kind of funny how I tweeted after I got my teeth pulled. It only took 20 minutes to pull my teeth. I am still confused, I think, but numb. My whole face is numb. I'm telling you, they knocked me out. They got those teeth out. It was awesome. It was absolutely amazing. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to talk about. I have to actually run to the store with Ange. I have to cut my hair. And then get ready for my new client interview. I'm extremely excited. So, I hope that you guys are good. I'm going to upload this. It'll probably take a little while to upload because the other one did too. But I hope you guys are good. I hope you're having a nice day. What is this? It's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. So, much love and peep out.